Hi, I'm Michelle Gordon with the Gordon Group with JH Realty Partners, and welcome to our series of creative solutions. It's not just what we know, but who we know. So today we are talking with a lawyer, and if you will introduce yourself.
Sure, my name's Tlyer. I'm an attorney with Shank, Boncher, and Ritma. At the firm, my practice involves business law, some real estate transactions, and some estate planning as well.
So some of the things that I run into, a lot of people don't think about, is their bylaws. When I moved into my neighborhood, it had been established, I believe, in the 80s. And the bylaws that were written there were probably okay. No, I shouldn't say that. They were probably acceptable to the community at that time. They were not okay. They were very discriminatory. And so most people, the bylaw book is this big and no one reads them and they don't understand what's in there. But really, they shouldn't have that. They should have them looked over, shouldn't they?
They absolutely should. The bylaws are very important. They outline what rights the co-owners have, what rights the condominium association has, who takes care of what element, general common elements, limited elements. I mean, it's very important to do that and to have those reviewed.
Yeah, so when I moved in, they had a realtor now in the community, and there was quite a few things that if someone wanted to sue us, they could have, because they were discriminatory type languages in the bylaws.
Sure.
The other thing that we did not have in place was a road agreement, and we didn't have the road insured. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's important when you have a private road. If you don't have any insurance, any agreements, or anything like that, who's going to take care of the road, who secures plowing services, things like that people normally just don't think about, because with a public road you don't have to. You really do if it's a private road. So
we live on a private road, and what I found out is someone hurts themselves on our private road by lack of maintaining, and a fault of ours. So it's not like if it was icy and someone slipped and fell, because that's an act of nature. But if we weren't maintaining the road, like repaving it and leaving potholes in there, and someone hurt themselves, we could be sued.
It very well could be liability.
Yeah, so we didn't have insurance, we didn't have any of that. So now I can tell you now we do, but we didn't have any insurance. So that's actually really good to know. And the gentleman who was plowing the road at the time was the guy that owned all the land before it all got developed, and he was quite old, and he died, and we didn't have enough money in our dues to start paying somebody. No one thinks about what happens, and I can't tell you how many times I go to a house and I'll say, okay, this is a private road, and you almost always know it's a private road because it's on the street sign, PDT, right? And when we moved here, we thought we weren't allowed to drive down those roads because it said private road. That's not the case. That's not what the private road means. But it means that the county doesn't care for them and own them. It is actually the residents that all have like a deeded frontage to that road. And when that road needs to be repaired, and when it needs to be repaved, and when it needs to be plowed, there needs to be an agreement.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So the other thing that we're going to talk about, which is very exciting, is the law has changed on dower rights. Now, you may have heard something about it, you may not have heard something about it, but there's a lot of people that are misunderstanding what this means. They're saying, oh no, my husband owns the house in his name only, and I need to run out and put my name on the deed. Will you go and explain a little bit about this?
Sure. Dower rights were established in Michigan over 200 years ago, back when women couldn't legally own property. And what a dower interest is it's a wife's 1/3 interest in all of the real estate that her husband owns for her life. So in other words, if the husband were to pass away, the wife would maintain a 1/3 interest in his property until her passing. It was a way to protect the wife at that point when she couldn't legally own property.
Because before that, if the husband died before the wife and the wife remarried, then the new husband would take over all that land.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty big deal.
It was a big deal. Anymore, dower really is not exercised. Most of people's wealth is maintained not in real estate anymore, but in other holdings. And so really, if a woman's husband passes away, she's either going to take, under the terms of the will, she's going to take her elective share. Those are really two better options in 99% of the cases that she could elect, because again, most of people's wealth these days is not held in the real estate like it used to be.
So really, if you own a home right now and it's just in your husband's name, you don't need to run out and go put your name on the deed. You can do a quick claim deed, and you can do that. But really, everybody should have a living will, shouldn't they?
Sure, that's the best way to make sure. With the abolishment of dower, I don't think we mentioned that. Abolishment of dower will take effect on April 6th.
That's right.
And so after that point, women, wives, will no longer have dower rights. Michigan was actually the only state in the union, and still is until April 6th, the only state in the union where there is no reciprocal right for widowers. It is only a right in Michigan for widows. But until that point, no, you don't have to run out and try to transfer real estate or anything like that. The most effective way to make sure that the real estate is going to pass to your wife upon your passing as a husband or upon your husband's passing is to have a will in place or an estate plan in place to provide for that.
So one of the things that we were talking about yesterday is for your personal property is a living will, but if you own more than just a personal property, you have commercial property, you should really have a bill of sale or something else because, say for instance, my daughter Amanda gets married and Amanda dies, I might want to protect that stuff going over to her husband.
Sure.
I might not like him. So, so that's not true. But there's things that they should really do to protect the property and control where it's going. And that's something that they can do with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's all part of a comprehensive estate plan.
Okay.
And it will depend on what the holdings are, what real estate you own. But yes, as long as it's provided for in an estate plan, really the abolishment of dower has little to no effect.
And the new law is not retroactive. So if you close on a home on April 5th, or on a home, then that law does not come into play.
Correct.
Right?
Dower right would still exist at that point, and you'd still need, if you're a husband transferring real estate at that point, you still need to have your wife sign off on her dower rights on April 5th. April 6th you do not, but April 5th you would.
So just real quick, an idea of what we would do. So if we had a house that the husband owned singly before he got married to his wife, and then he got married, I would need both of their signatures to sell that house. If the wife owned property before she got married and then got married, I did not need the husband's signature. We would do it just in case, because you could probably tie it up a little bit in court if you wanted to.
Sure.
So we would still get signatures anyway. This way, if one or the other is the only one on the property, legally I don't need both of their signatures, but I'm going to get them anyway. But that's kind of how it affects me in easy terms.
Sure.
But anyway, if you want to learn more about these, which you should, you can contact me, Michelle Gordon, at 616-443-0596. Call or text, or on our website. You will see a link to our Facebook site, and this video will be up there. And how can people get a hold of you too?
Absolutely. You can call or email. My phone number at the office is 616-647-8277, or my email address is tosburn, TOSBURN, at schenkboncher.com, and that's SCHENKBONCHER.com.
Thanks for tuning in, and make sure that you tune in for the next Creative Solution. It's not what we know, but who we know.